Hello and welcome to my kitchen. I'm Judith. Today we're going to do a Chinese chicken noodle soup. What's better on a cold day like we get this time of year, but some nice hot soup. So this is different than what you're used to if you're North American or European. This is going to be Chinese chicken noodle soup. And I did mention before that I used to work in a Chinese restaurant when I was young, and that was my favorite dinner. So I have a beautiful little Taiwanese chicken, and this comes intact. Well, I mean, hopefully it's been gutted, but the feet are there, the head is there. You can see this. The feet are there, the head is there, and it is a free-range chicken. It's going to be so flavorful. So first thing we have to do, believe it or not, is not to make the stock from the chicken, but we need to get our ginger and our garlic cut up and get that sauteed a little bit, and then we put our chicken in the pot. Before you add your lemongrass to the pot, now this is an item you don't actually eat, it's just for flavoring. You want to smash it up a little bit to release the flavors. So we're just going to take our mallet, and I can get it around this way where I got a better shot at it, and just bang on it. There we go. And I've just tied it in a knot so that I can just throw it in the pot and then retrieve it later. And as the name suggests, lemongrass does smell like lemon and tastes like lemon too. Now that we have our pot warm, we're going to add a couple tablespoons of avocado oil. You can use peanut oil or vegetable oil. My preference is avocado oil. Then we're going to just put in 4 slices of ginger and let them sizzle away. Basically, we're just flavoring the oil. Give them about a minute. And then we're going to add 2 cloves of garlic, which we've sliced. And about 15 seconds. Smell the garlic. Then we're going to add in our sweet little chicken and water. And I've added about 2 liters of water there. So we're going to put the lid on, bring it up to a boil, turn it down so it's simmering, and we're going to give the chicken a couple of hours. Our little chicken is not fully submerged, so we will be, when it's simmering, turning it to make sure everything gets cooked. So we're going to cover it now and leave it go on a simmer for about 2 hours. And don't forget to add your lemongrass. You need that to flavor your broth. Our chicken's been simmering for 2 hours. We are going to pull it out of the broth. And we're going to pull our lemongrass out. And our slices of ginger, if we can fish them out of here. If not, it's not an issue. I found 2 of them. We will be straining that anyway. It's not an issue if you can't get those out. So now we just let everything cool because we want to shred the chicken off the bone. And I hope you can see the color of that broth. It's absolutely gorgeous. And one thing with these little Taiwanese chickens, since they are free range, they do not have all the fat on them that the North American or European chickens that have been force fed and cooped up and fattened until they're plump and tender. So we don't have a whole lot of fat in this. There is a little bit, but a lot of that was the oil that I put in to saute the ginger and garlic. Okay, one thing I need to do before I go any further is get in here and want the fat. Just want the broth. Because I'm debating, very lemony, debating on adding some shiitake mushroom. Now you could do this when, at the start, when you're going to cook your chicken, but I did not. And I'm thinking it actually needs the shiitake. Okay, I have some dried shiitake mushrooms. I've added a cup of water, and I want them to soak for about 20 minutes or half an hour, because I want that water to add to my broth. We will add the mushrooms as well to the soup at the end, but definitely I want the flavor from the shiitakes. Okay, to complete our broth, as I said, we soaked the shiitake mushrooms. We're just going to pour that water in there. I'm going to add a good pinch of salt, and this is fleur de sel, so a very nice flaky salt. And we're going to throw in 2 green onions in 2-inch pieces. Now the big difference between a North American or European chicken noodle soup and an Asian one, or specifically the Chinese one, is you do not cook your noodles in the broth. In fact, that's all you do. You make the broth. Everything else is done separately. So I have a pot of boiling water here. I'm going to get my noodles going. And I have some lovely wheat noodles. And they're done in portions. I'm going to do 3 portions just because I don't know how big they're going to end up, and I do kind of want some left over. Traditionally, you would save the leftover broth, cook your noodles fresh, and add. You don't make the soup and store it all together. Give that a stir. And I do want to taste, because we have a few other things to add. And I did scoop off some of the fat, as our little chicken had more fat on it than I expected. Not as much fat as you would expect on like a fryer or roaster in North America. But this was a free-range chicken, so it still had some fat. Okay, that's tasty. We do need, well, it's very tasty. That shiitake water made a difference. Got a teaspoon of sesame oil and a tablespoon of light soy sauce. Oh, that's lovely. So in a minute, we will just put everything together. Some lovely big bowls. I'm going to turn our broth off. We do want it hot when we add it to the bowl, so we're going to pour it over everything else. And we have a few ingredients, like our chicken is cold. We have some other things that have cooled down. So we want nice hot broth, but it doesn't have to be boiling. Now we assemble our bowls of soup. Because as I said, Chinese chicken noodle soup, you do not cook it all together. Gonna get some of the noodles. Oops. And they are also not the tiny little noodles that you get in a North American chicken noodle soup. They are long and hearty. And I did debate between the skinny ones and the thicker ones, but I went with the thicker ones. Just space that out a little bit better. There we go. Okay. Then we're going to put our chicken in. So, chicken foot. A drumstick. And some random bits of meat. We have some breast meat. We'll do a nice chunk of breast meat there. Something with bone in. We have, I did do some king oyster mushrooms. I'm going to put those in. Just tuck those in the side so they peek out nice. And we have our shiitakes. Pop those in there. And I steamed some baby bok choy. Gotta have your vegetables, especially in a chicken noodle soup. There we go. Now we just need to add our broth. And it's dinner time. Chinese chicken noodle soup. It is wonderful. This has a little more in it than I remember from working at the Chinese restaurant. But I did research and apparently this is not unusual. I did include the chicken leg, or the chicken foot. I hope you enjoyed the video. Please give it a like. It helps me so much. I will be back again soon with another video, and I do thank you all for watching.